Welcome back to Game Dungeon, and today we're doing the first dungeon movie review of the Karate Kid Legends, starring Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan, and I think Ben Wang of the film. I'm gonna get some facts up here so I have some things to say about it. Before I talk about my own thoughts of this movie, I was very excited about. I've known about it since they announced it, I think last year, and they were saying they have a big open call for people who know kung fu or martial arts and speak Mandarin. And I was like, okay, we're gonna see some new talent. Considered throwing myself in the running, except I'm about I don't know, 15 years too old. Maybe back in my 20s I could have ran it, age wise, and I know zero Mandarin, except for ni hao and xie. That's the extent of what I know. um, so this is a brand new Karate Kid flick. I wore my surely not everybody was kung fu fighting shirt just as a coincidence, so it's fate. And the movie itself is a continuation of the story of a kid coming into his own, missing something from their life, martial arts, and a mentor, bringing them to a more complete life or a happier life. I really enjoy the original films. I didn't watch him as a kid. I'd always see him in the video store, but I never went to watch him. Eventually did see all of them. My favorite of all of them being the first, which I'm sure is an unoriginal opinion, but really just is a good movie. And there's a reason why it was so popular back in the day and got so many sequels. The second one's really good too. I love the Okinawa, Hawaii setting and the characters in that. Third one is fun too. It kind of like beckons back to one a little bit, but a little more zany a little bit, because I think Ralph almost, Daniel-san almost gets murdered, like in a trying to spelunk to grab something. Or it's not spelunk, but basically walk along the side of a cliff and almost get thrown off by some insane teenagers. But they're all good movies. I really did not like the 2010 movie with Jackie Chan, and not Jackie Chan being the issue with it, but Jaden Smith. I just did not like that kid as the protagonist. I didn't like his story, didn't like his performance, didn't like his face, really. I just didn't like Jaden Smith as an actor, and for me that took the film, which was otherwise I think kind of good, and just made it bad. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. So, and obviously it's not karate but kung fu, which is really the reason why I like that movie more than Zero and Jackie Chan stuff, and basically everybody but Jaden Smith in it. I even like the mom. The mom was great too. But just this tiny little kid, just really, really tiny. Even Ralph Macchio was not, he was smaller, but he didn't look like he was like 3 years old in the movie. And so, and didn't feel like he was as whiny either as Jaden Smith. So, but of course the characters were younger, but I just didn't like that movie a lot. So, so when I heard there was going to be another one, they're bringing back Jackie Chan as Mr. Han, who I did like his character. They're getting rid of Jaden Smith, which I was cool with, and they're bringing in a new protagonist who will be trained by Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. I was like, hell yeah, this is going to be awesome. Really freaking dope film. I was super pumped. I really wanted to see it, and so I caught it last week. And man, it's just not that good of a movie, I'm sad to say. I would rate it overall a B minus when I wanted this movie to be an A. I wanted this movie to be an A. You know, some movies you understand they're probably not going to be that great. You can live with the fact that they're going to be B movies, and you're there, you're having a good time. You're not really that invested. So if it's not that good, whatever. I mean, you had fun, enjoyed it for what it was, and made fun of the parts that were not great. But you don't really give a shit. This one was one that I kind of really was hoping to be good. So I love the idea of bringing Kung Fu into the Karate Kid mix. Having him learn the idea of it was in the trailers of combining Kung Fu and karate into teachings into one kid, and the two branches of the martial art being one, which is true. I mean, all karate, all that comes from China. Okinawa, it comes from China. The martial art used to be called Chinese hand in Okinawa. So that was really cool. It was a cool idea. And in the end, the movie, let me say the pros. Pros first, then cons. Pros, cohesive story. Enjoyable flick, top to bottom when it comes to the story. I followed along. Honestly, the first act of it, which was not featured in any of the trailers, I was happy about because it took me for surprise, of what is his name? Xiao Li, just teaching some old guy, some old cat, some dad how to box better and get back in the ring using Kung Fu training. That was dope. That was one of the coolest parts of the whole movie. That was, it's really new novel for the series for the protagonist, which is usually the student, to be a teacher in some aspect. So for the kid to come in, the protagonist to come in with some martial arts knowledge and being able to teach somebody else who had some martial arts knowledge, boxing, and refine it using Chinese martial arts, that was sick. And it was a really cool montage. Really cool showing them the one-inch punch. You see a little Bruce Lee there. You see some horse stance holding up the pickle jars. I did that later with weights, like the next day, because I thought that was just so cool, the idea of that training. That was really good, and his Ben Wang's and the girl's relationship developing felt very natural. That first part of the movie I thought was the best part of the movie, and it didn't feature Jackie Chan or Ralph Macchio, and I was like, where are they gonna come in after about 30-40 minutes of the movie? I'm like, still haven't seen much Jackie Chan. I've seen a little bit of him. He's in the beginning. Haven't seen any Ralph Macchio. I thought he was gonna be featured in this movie a little more. And the second half is okay. It's tournament. It's kind of the bread and butter of the what you expect out of it, and that was good, and it was fine. Some of the martial arts stuff was really good in terms of what you actually saw, especially in the beginning training with the boxer. That was really good. Jackie Chan's performance, sublime. Ben Wang's performance, good, really good. He was a good protagonist, relatable, enjoyable actor. Wasn't all whining like Jaden Smith, and believable in his skill of martial art. Seeing Ralph Macchio was good. You've seen Cobra Kai, you've seen Karate Kid. You know this character very well at this point, and he did really good. I mean, he was fine in the movie. What else was good? I didn't expect to see Mulan, Minghua Wen. I forget to say her name. Didn't know she was in the movie. She was not featured in any of the marketing material as far as I saw, so she was great. Kind of not much to do with her, but she was good in terms of what her scenes in the movie. What else? I think that's probably my enjoyable parts. And unfortunately, the cons really kind of weigh down these pros. So here's a big one for me. In a martial arts film, a movie with the word karate in the name of it, you expect a lot out of the martial arts scenes, out of the fight scenes. You expect some good action cinematography. And I'm sad to say it's not here. Most of it is just shaky cam, quick cuts, which sucks, man. Like, you're expecting, Jackie Chan is the king of, like, number one martial arts cinematography, but also choreography. And I'm sure the choreography was great, but they never long shot. They never kept the camera fixated on the action enough to see what the actors were doing through the whole movement. There was just boom, cut, and then he's like, oh, there's a foot. Oh, cut. Oh, his face is on the ground. Shaky cam, and it sucked. It just made me so mad to see that. And you really want to see, especially in Chinese martial arts, you want to see the techniques. You want to see the movement, like the actual punches, the whole movement, the kick. You want to see the extension of the human body contacting another human with the action, and to see the whole body involved. And they just it got like somebody who's never done an action movie before, or they've done like a Bourne movie, and it's just it wasn't good. It sucked, and it's only a few times you get to finally see some of the techniques, especially in the boxing training stuff. Like it's like two different directors on those parts. And in the latter half, when you're seeing, actually even some of the parts where he's fighting in the street like against thugs, a lot of the cuts, which sucked. But especially in the tournament part, it's a lot of quick cuts. You don't really get to see a lot of the techniques go throughout it and actually see the movement. So that sucks. The second half of the movie was not that great. The tournament part felt really shoehorned in. Daniel-san being in there felt really shoehorned in. Teaching Ben Wong karate for a purpose felt very shoehorned in. That should have, if that was going to be, which I felt was the point of the movie through the marketing, that should have been the focus. Even though I felt like the boxing part was a better movie than the second half. If the second half had more room to develop, I think it would have been a better film. They just whistled past the entire tournament. Every fight was about 15 seconds long. They're like, okay, you don't give a fuck about any of these other fights, and you're only gonna see it for 5 seconds. And also, let's get to what we want. He's gonna be at the end. He's gonna be at the end. Let's just get them fighting each other, because that's the purpose, was him to confront his bully, right? To win money, and also use that money to help out the boxer in his failing business, or because he's owed loan sharks. But a tournament doesn't mean too much unless you actually at least give it a little room to breathe. And the character, the acting was just so shitty at the end. Like in the tournament, it's like, "Hi, my name's Thunder Mark, and welcome to the Five Boroughs." And then the guy's like, Ben Wong's like, "Pow, pow." He pops up, thanks for inviting me. It's like, this doesn't feel natural at all. It doesn't feel natural. It's so cartoony. It's so sitcom-y. It's not realistic dialogue, and you're not expecting Shakespeare here, but you're also not expecting a Saturday morning cartoon. So that was just really bad, and I don't understand why the other fighters at the tournament needed names like Thunderbolt or Spitting Cloud or some bullshit like that. It's like, his name is Ben. That's his name. The other guy's name is whatever the bully's name is. Nobody else has gamer tags as their martial arts name, so why did these fuckers have these names? That was so dumb. I don't fucking understand why they did that. Why is it... They made it so cartoony. And then it's a karate tournament, and so you're expecting all the people to be wearing gis and stuff, right? The first guy is wearing like a Shaolin monk outfit, and I get it. I mean, you have a kid who learns kung fu, but he's wearing a gi, even though it's got like the sash. So that's a good combination, representative of his kung fu and karate. But the other guy's wearing a full fucking Shaolin outfit, and he's in a karate tournament. So what is the purpose of calling it a karate tournament? Just call it a martial arts tournament. Then you're good, right? So that was really dumb. In mixing that with the bad fight choreography, it's not even balanced by at least I get to see some cool fights. A movie that comes to mind is like Blood and Bone. Blood and Bone, it doesn't have it's a awesome movie. The movie kicks fucking ass. It doesn't have the most complex writing or complex story, but damn it, you enjoy the dialogue and you fucking enjoy those action scenes. Those action scenes make that movie really, really bring it up a whole notch. This doesn't have the dialogue. This doesn't have the action. So it's just brought down. And lastly, intermixed with all that is the music, which, holy shit. I know these movies are supposed to be geared towards younger kids, especially because I think off Cobra Kai, that hit a lot of that younger demographic. I'm younger than me, and I consider myself a young demographic. Younger than me, teenagers and stuff like that, so they have different taste in music, but there is something I think overarching amongst all generations, and it's that if you're in an action movie or a movie where you're trying to grow, coming of age, and it's not a kids tween drama, then you don't need kid tween drama songs. I don't know. I heard some of this music was just like very not actiony, very effeminate, very teenage girl. Not that this movie isn't made for teenage girls, but the protagonist is not a teenage girl. The things that the teenage boy is going through is stuff that a kid is dealing with, physical hardship and bullying and loss of his brother. These are not, happy-go-lucky unicorn fucking themes, right? So when you have that music in there, it fucking throws you out so much. It just kicks you out of the being immersed in the movie. And then there was this really weird sound choice. They did it once, and they're like, this is fucking hilarious. Let's do it 3 more times. So Ben Wong is training. He's got this. He actually does have some. You're into it. You see the montage music. It's not that memorable because I don't remember the song, but at least it fits the vibe. And he's training, and it's just like, it just slows down. The music just slows down like someone's slowing down a fucking record, and he just like stops. Is like, are you serious? Or, we're not doing that training, are we? And it's just like, what the fuck, man? Okay, one time, throw us off our expectations. Okay, you did it one time. It's ha ha he he. You're doing the Marvel kind of thing that Marvel started doing, where it kind of just you little joke can kind of give some levity to it. That's cool. You don't do it 3 fucking times in the same movie. The same fucking sound effect or fucking slowing down of the music, making a joke or breaking the tension like that. That's just fucking stupid. That's not funny. That's not creative. That's just hackneyed at that point. And man, I'm pretty sure it's 3 times they do that in the movie. 1 for every 30 minutes of the movie. It's ridiculous. And I'm just like, damn. Who the fuck thought that was a funny idea? Someone really fucking thought that was hilarious. It's like, it'd be hilarious if we just like totally threw the montage the idea right out the window. People are like, whoa, this kid's actually relatable. He's not going through this training. Slow down the music. Yeah, 3 more times. Fuck. And I was just like, at second time I was like, okay. And the third time it was like, come on, man. So that's why this movie's a B. I feel like I would love a sequel with these characters. Maybe get rid of Ralph Macchio. Or give him a bigger part where he goes and Ralph Macchio's the actual freaking teacher. But get rid of whoever did the music. Get rid of whoever did the action cinematography or action directing. They fucking sucked. Get them out of the room. If you just made the action a little better, I could forgive Thunderbolt or Spinning Lightning being fucking character names, and got the music on par. You just have a good freaking action flick, a fun movie about. That was part of the original Karate Kid vibe. You're the best around. That was fuck. Okay. You just not only do you have the teenage heartthrob, but you got all the fucking dudes being like, fuck yeah, I want to fucking train karate right now because. Fucking be the best. It's like it's a Rocky story. That's the same reason Rocky is awesome. Besides Rocky having an amazing story, it's not even the same level, but at least with this Karate Kid. But you like Rocky a lot, not only because of the story and the heart, but it's got good action and it's got good music, memorable music. So that's my review of this movie. I'm really sad. At first I was kind of like, oh, it's okay, I have a couple problems. But the more I kind of stew on it, the more I'm like, this could have been a whole tier up if they just changed these, those 2 big things. So I waited a year for a movie that sadly I didn't like that much, which sucks. But what can you do? Maybe that's some of Sony's fault. I think Sony and their executives are like some of the worst people when it comes to making movies. They seem to fuck up a lot. Cue Spider-Man, everything dealing with Spider-Man. I mean, that's my biggest example. Or it could be nothing with that. I don't know. It's just conjecture. But that's my review. It's a B minus movie. And I really hope if they do a sequel with these characters, which I like all these characters, they just do it better. I mean, just solidly do it better. Go watch the original Karate Kid and see, okay, we don't need to redo that entire story, but let's take some of those key elements that made the movie great. Music being one. The action not being too great. But at least you did see Daniel LaRusso throw a kick. You saw the whole movement of his kick hitting that guy in the face. There wasn't a kick where Daniel LaRusso threw his foot up, cut to the other side next to freaking his face, cut to the foot, cut to the top of his head, and then the kick connects. No, it was just boom. You saw that shit, his head flew up, he fell. That's good stuff. Sometimes you don't need all that crazy. Just a simple view of the action. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Here's the first movie review. Karate Kid Legends. Is a B minus.